somebody buys a house, couple thoughts that I have, then I'll get a couple of ending thoughts from you. Is one thing that I suggest that my clients always do is annually look at two things. Obviously, their mortgage. Okay. With my clients, I call that assets under management. With
Yeah.
financial advisors, it's
Yeah.
usually assets under
Same
management. I look at mortgage.
thing.
I look at mortgages under management, looking at their mortgage to see if there's anything that can be done with their mortgage, refinancing, pulling equity out to do other things, possibly things like that. So I do an annual review with my clients. And then the second thing is I promote that they look at their home insurance policy. Okay.
Sure.
This year, Allstate may be in the market for home insurance. They may want home insurance, so they're offering better deals. Next year, they may want car insurance, so they're increasing their premiums on homes. So I always recommend that consumers always annually look at their home insurance policy. If they have a
Sure.
great relationship with their insurance agent and they're a broker, they should be able to shop them around anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But if they use a captive company, and there are a few out there, Allstate, Nationwides, who don't have, they can't broker that out, then I definitely recommend that. What do you think about those plans?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, especially in the early stages of home ownership, because say you have PMI insurance, and that's private mortgage insurance. That's in addition to the standard insurance that you have.
Sure.
That can go away at some point, depending on the value of your house and what you owe on it.
Yep.
So that's another reason, especially like I said, in those early stages, for sure.
Yeah. Gotcha. What are some ideas that you have? One comes to mind for me when consumers do a home inspection at the very beginning of buying a home. They do this home inspection, they get this 50-page report, and they typically put it in a drawer and do nothing with it. Right. And it's a punch list of what they need to work on in their house.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I'm starting to recommend that consumers do an annual home inspection with the home inspector, have the home inspector come back out every year
Yeah.
just to give an analysis. So, what are some other ideas that you think that a consumer should do once they buy a house?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think my home inspection was like $450 when I did it when I bought my
Yeah,
house. So
yeah,
it's, but it was, like you said, a punch list, and it's very, very informative to tell you about your house.
yeah.
So that is, I think, a very good, I mean, it's a good idea. I've never heard, anybody recommend it, but I could see the benefit of it for sure. Um, yeah, I mean, outside of that, um, I mean, I think we've touched on a lot of it is, your budget. If you have any home projects that you want to do, looking at the value that it may increase your home by, uh,
Yeah.
and what do you want next for what you've purchased and where your plan
Sure.
is for sure.
There you go. There you go. Going back to the budget a little bit here, and then we'll wrap up. That emergency fund is put in place in case something happens with their job. Let's say they lose their income, but it's also put in place if something happens with their house,
Mhm.
their car. The last thing you want to do is, man, I need four new tires on my car. They're bald. Now I got to go borrow that money.
Yeah.
So that's the other purpose of having that emergency fund is for situations like that. My furnace just died. I didn't realize I'm going to spend $5,000 on a new furnace. So when is it young couple buying their first home? They both have their first jobs in their careers, no kids yet. Is that too soon for them to reach out to an advisor? When is it too soon to reach out to an advisor like yourself?
I don't think there's ever a time where it's too soon. Um, Me personally, and I think, not all advisors have the time to, really educate and take the time to, give a 22-year-old the education that they need to be successful. So you have to find somebody that will take the time first off,
Sure.
and that you trust and will do the right
Mhm.
thing by you. But no, I mean, I have benefited from having advisors in early stages of my life.
Sure.
So I think, it will never hurt you to have somebody that can educate you, share their knowledge, share their wisdom.
Sure.
So that's just my own personal opinion. I think, like an individual themselves, not all people, a lot of advisors have a minimum. So
Yeah,
again, that's kind of the point of why I said that is like you have to find somebody that is willing to put in that, because say you are starting with $1,000 today, and that advisor, I mean, it is a lot of upfront information and education, that will benefit that individual. So just finding the right person, I think, is the more important part to that. But no, I mean, sooner you start, the better. And there's
sure.
value in advisors for sure.
Exactly. Well, how can somebody get a hold of you if they want to have a conversation with you about all this?
Yeah. My number is 440-935-0685. My email is my first and last name, Aric.Gordon, Aric with an A, at the48group.com.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, reach out. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody that gives me a call, sends me an email. Um, it's like I said, education is the core of what I love to do. Uh,
Sure.
so I typically do take the time with people. So I
Good.
like what I do, and I want other people around me to be successful for sure. So
There you go. The same for me as well. So if anybody wants to have a conversation with me about their mortgage, about buying their first home, about budgeting and some of the tactics that we've talked about here today, you can reach me on my cell, 330-990-5749, or just my website, and it's just my name, so timbullock.com. I got that like 20 years ago when they first came out with the internet. But yeah, that's how you can get a hold of me. But Aric, I appreciate your time. This was a blast. It went for an hour. I thought we were going to go for a half hour, but hopefully a lot of people will listen to this, and if they have any questions, they can get a hold of us. Sounds
yeah,
good?
that's great. I loved it as well. I'm definitely a talker, but it's all very, very good information. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I had a blast too, and I hope it helps as many people as we can, right?
Sounds good. You